As mentioned before, the adventure that we're playing today is titled Pudding Faire. So the main premise of it is that you all have traveled to this little halfling and gnome village called Honeypuddle, and it is actually along the trail, back in the woods a bit in between Baldur's Gate and Elturel. And you have two different reasons as to why you might have come here. So you are either, and I'm going to click this, and it's going to show up in the Fantasy Grounds chat. So you are either messengers, and you have come to Honeypuddle Village to deliver a package to an old halfling friend, and just decided to stay an extra day for the Pudding Fair that is taking place. So basically, every so often, there's this big fair where the village comes and makes a gigantic pudding, and then everybody at the end of the fair sort of gathers and eats it. And there's lots of booths and festivities and sort of activities that you can get involved in while you are at the fair. The other reason for why you might be there is that you are somewhat of a bounty hunter. You have been hired to arrest the notorious halfling thief named Elsie Rumknuckle, and you are to capture her and deliver her alive to Baldur's Gate for sentencing. You heard she's headed to this event, so you've posed as a brewer to try to blend in and get to her and arrest her. So I'll let you decide for yourself which of those two reasons as to why you are here in Honeypuddle. So with that, we will have you go one by one and just say, a few brief words about your character, and incorporate maybe one of those two as to why they're here in Honeypuddle. And so we will start in order of the portraits there in the top left. So Ulanin goes first.
Okay, so I am a bard. I'm kind of a wanderer of sorts, doing odd tasks here and there. My mission would be to deliver a package to an old friend of mine. Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
I mean, just physical. I mean, like they're a bard, they're a half elf. Anything else that about their background that you feel is relevant. It's entirely up to you. What you said is good. So we've established that you are here. You were visiting a friend. You delivered a package to them. Crozus.
Yeah, my character is Crozus Ironbeard. He's a dwarven cleric. He's somewhat of a religious hardliner and isn't very happy about other faiths. He's lawful good, and I would say a bit dogmatic about it. He's definitely here as a bounty hunter to find the halfling thief Elsie Rumknuckle, because obviously this person has some horrible moral behavior. So not only can we get the bounty, but we can enforce law and order at the same time.
Okay. Crozus has come to collect the bounty on Elsie Rumknuckle. Glenwith.
Hello, my name is Glenwith. I am a human druid. Despite being human, I was actually raised by elves because I was orphaned when I was very young, and so I'm biologically human, but I'm culturally quite elvish. and that led me to be interested in different peoples and cultures, which is what I spend most of my time conducting research in, which is why when I came here to initially just deliver a package to half a friend of mine, I thought I'd stay and watch the festivities because it would be a good opportunity to do some research.
Okay. Next is Atrix.
I am Atrix Ichus. I'm a human wizard. I'm falling out from nobility, and I'm just here looking for a job.
Okay. Adamar.
I am an elven ranger. In fact, I was actually raised by wolves. I am slow to trust members of other races, tribes, and societies. I am a bounty hunter, looking for, that's the reason for being in this area.
Okay. So you're also on the trail of Elsie Rumknuckle.
Yes.
Okay. And finally, Niltzer.
I'm Niltzer. I'm a human wizard. You can call me Nil for short. I grew up close to Honeypuddle village and went off to Baldur's Gate to train. And I just completed training for a wizard. And I've heard an old halfling friend needed a package delivered, so I came back to see the village and what's been happening since I've been gone.
All right. So that is our band of 6 here that find ourselves in Honeypuddle on the day of the Pudding Faire. One little note here to tell you is that as soon as I start here and read this next box of text, which establishes the time of day, I'm going to start a timer. And from that point forward, real time is game time, where every 5 minutes of real time represents 1 hour in the game time. And the reason for that will become more and more apparent as we play, but just as a warning, I will have a running timer. And so I won't be updating you in terms of what the time is. On my own. You may, if you get curious yourself, as your character, you may check in and say, my character checks what time it is, time check, and I can look at my timer and give that to you. Okay, so I'm going to start that timer right now. So the crow of a rooster awakens you from your slumber, followed by the sound of a brass band cranking up. And you hear a voice crying out, roll up for the Pudding Faire." You can peer out the inn's window and you see a crowd of happy halflings and gnomes bustling about toward a fairground on the village green. It is 7 o'clock in the morning on the day of the annual Honeypuddle Pudding Faire. And so you step out on the map that should be showing up for you there with your tokens of the front door of this inn. And as you come out, you also see some giggling children who startle a goose, and it sort of flutters and tries to run away from them, and then it runs into a nearby gnome, causing her to drop a tray of cakes. And what would you like to do?
Help her up, pick up the cake.
Okay, so Ulanin comes over to her and tries to gather up the cakes. Some of them probably are beyond help. and she starts kind of yelling at the kids for getting in her way and scaring the goose, and the goose sort of goes honking off, and Ulanin tries his best to try to help her. Then you also notice that one halfling is walking by, and a jackdaw, a bird, goes flying over, and it drops some poop, and it lands on the top of the bald head of the halfling. And he's like, and he feels it hit him, and and he tries to wipe it off, and it's all over his hands, and he goes by, and he's quite upset at this.
Does anyone have a napkin?
Who asked if someone has a napkin?
Yeah, I'll ask if somebody has a napkin for the poor guy.
Everyone just kind of looks at you, and just as the guy kind of keeps going by, I mean, you can like try to get one and run after him if you like.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Then as that occurs, as you're just kind of standing there taking in the morning, perhaps trying to decide what you do next, you also notice a gnome sort of going to passersby, kind of being nagging and annoying, and he keeps trying to. He has like a basket of candied apples that he's trying to sell, and he says, one silver apiece. Ripe, delicious candied apples. Come on, would you like to buy one? One for you, and kind of gets in people's faces as they kind of brush him off, and just keep passing by. And he comes over to one of you. In fact, he comes over finally to Niltzer, and he says, "Sir, you look like you could use a candied apple. How about you? One silver apiece."
Sure, why not?
Okay. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Then he goes around to another member. How about you, sir? How about you, the Good Samaritan? He comes over to Ulanin. Would you like one? He seems like you guys seem more friendly than the other passersby, so he kind of starts working on your group. Would you like a nice ripe candied apple?
Sure, I would love one.
Anybody else? Anybody else in your group? Anybody would like one?
You there? I'll take one.
Okay, that was Crozus.
I'll take one, and also ask him a little bit about the history of the fair.
Oh, yes. Tis a wondrous event. Does this happen to be your first time?
Yes, my first time here.
Well, you see, we've our little community here of three penny wood, as he is a gnome, has always had good relations with the halfling folk of Honeypuddle, and so therefore, on the first day of summer of each year, the halflings invite the gnomes to the Pudding Faire, and we cook they cook a giant fruitcake, or the great pudding as they like to call it, for us, and we tell stories and play games and wrestle, and it's all in good fun. You'll find that there are stalls erected across the green there. You'll find some of my folk selling toys and other wares, and I'm sure the halflings have other booths set up.
I see. So it's about solidifying the friendly relations between gnomes and halflings.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is correct. And of course, any good folks such as yourself who want to enjoy are welcome also.
Thank you very much.
So he kind of wanders off and starts trying to sell to others. And after that, then you also notice a barking dog that chases a rat through the crowd of people going by, going into the onto the green for the fair. And as the it kind of goes by that person that you heard, the town crier that was calling for people to roll up to the fair, the dog runs by him and knocks him over, and he falls over and trips and falls face first in the mud, and people kind of laugh, and he's covered, and he's trying to, I'm gonna have to change. He keeps wiping it off his face and his hands and trying to get cleaned up.
Is this the same guy that had poop on his head?
No, it's a different guy. That guy was just passing by. He was on his way to the fair.
So is the guy just kind of distraught? Is he just kind of cleaning himself?
Yeah, he picks himself up, and he's like, the day just started. Man.
Oh, there's a lot of misfortunes going on this morning. A very chaotic morning.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm describing it in the course of 8 minutes or so, but as you're kind of milling about, talking to people, taking in, all this takes place over like the course of the first hour of the day.
Got it.
So we have to work in a little bit of compressed time here.
Is there anything we can do to help? Or should we ask that? Or can I ask that?
Ask the guy who fell in the mud.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Maybe you could have stopped that dog before it knocked me over and knocked me in the mud. Now at this point, I just got to go cleaned off and get a fresh pair of clean clothes. I don't suppose any clothes you have on you would fit me, so I'll have to go back and get my own.
Yeah, you're right about the clothes.
And so after you start talking to him, he continues his town crying for a bit. Okay, roll up for the Pudding Faire, and then you get he does hand you this map of the festival grounds. It looks like this.
Cool. Where are we in this?
You're off to the south there. So basically, you walk to the, because you're kind of where the inn is and where the houses are and stuff. And so if you walk north, it goes out onto the fairground greens where that place is. So it's off the map that you're currently on.
Got it. Is there a guide, or should I ask if there's a guide indicating what the numbers are?
Yeah, if you scroll down to the bottom of the image, so you take that little fleur de lis looking thing and like drag that down, and there's a key down there. Yeah.
Got it.
We're supposed to be, for the bounty hunters, posing as brewers. Do we know where we're supposed to be at in this?
Well, you aren't necessarily brewers that have a booth or anything. That's just sort of your cover. If anyone comes up to you and says, what are you doing here? You could,
Okay.
You have some story about being a brewer. Either you're looking to purchase or some, supplies, or looking to sample others to get ideas. I mean, whatever you come up with.
Got ya.
All right, guys. What sounds good? Sounds like there's a lot of events going on. Is there a time in which these events occur?
Not necessarily. You just go there and see what you find.
right. What do we want to do as a group, guys?
I think we
Or
look
maybe
for
not.
the busiest area, the most populated area. If we got a thief that likes to pickpockets and stuff, that'd be the place to go.
But I think we would have to explore that. We have to kind of find out by just meandering, I guess. I guess we could just go towards the Great Pudding Tent.
Yeah, I would guess that's the focal point of the whole event.
Yeah.
Should we ask the
Or-
crier?
Do we have any idea what the halfling thief looks like, or we just have the name? Did we get a description or anything for the bounty?
Yeah, you got a bit of one. Yeah, I mean, you know, she might change her look too, but she is a female halfling. I mean, she, you know, you'll when you see her, you'll probably know her as you know, she's probably got tools of the trade on her, and you know, certain weaponry. So you know, she won't be hard to spot in that sense.
Yeah, I think
I'd like to go.
we head towards the first. Start heading into the fair and look for the biggest crowd.
Let's do it. I start walking towards the pudding tent, or towards that general direction.
Yeah, same here. I think I'd like to try my luck at the eel-eating contest or maybe the wrestling ring. That's
Yeah, I'll follow the group.
Yeah, I'm following the group, kind of keeping it, looking at the archery contest.
I say to you guys, I'll catch you up in a bit because I'm a bit interested in the herbalist tent.
Sounds good. So we make a meeting point somewhere, maybe.
The pudding tent itself might make a good meeting point.
Okay. Let's head towards the pudding tent, and then we can see what's going on there. Maybe pass up and go towards the eel eating contest or the other things that are up there.
So you guys said you wanted to meet at the herbalist tent, yes?
No, the
Yes.
Great Pudding Tent. I was going to go off to the Herbalist Tent, but we were all going to meet at the Central Pudding.
Okay, got it. So first, Glenwith heads off to the herbalist tent, and so after roaming around for a bit and taking in the sights, you are finally able to make your way to the herbalist tent at about 10 a.m. And
Okay. I'm actually interested to know if the person at the store would have anything for sale that might be useful for medicine, if any.
yeah, so as you come in, you find out and get introduced to the gnome herbalist Arabella Dent, and you see that she's selling healing potions and herbalist kits from her wagon. And the prices are the prices listed in the player's handbook. You can see that her wagon is carved with the images of woodland animals, and she has a painted sign hanging from one of its wheels, which reads "Free gift for a good trick." And so yeah, so that's pretty much what she's selling. She has an herbalist kit that has the sort of ingredients that you're talking about if you don't already have one of those, and you can just buy already ready-made healing potions if you have the money. Those are 50 gold. And the
I certainly don't have that.
yeah, and the yeah, so yeah, it's too bad. Unfortunately, they're quite expensive to make. The herbalist kit is just 5 gold if you don't have one of those.
What's this free gift for a good trick thing?
I don't know. What have you got for me? And maybe you might get a nice surprise.
Well, it says trick. I mean, are you just looking? I mean, is this what kind of exchange is this?
You give me a little diversion, a little entertainment. You know, I don't know. What's your hidden talent?
Well, I wouldn't say it's anything particularly entertaining, but I am traveling with a good
Traveling with a good what?
bard.
Well, then his talent must be music. But what about your talent?
Well, I suppose I have some magics available. I could produce a flame for.
Oh, you can produce a flame? I'd like to see that.
Okay, I'll use my produce flame cantrip to just open up my palm, and a flame will appear.
Okay, as you do that, make a performance check, just to see how much pizzazz you can put behind this. Do you know how to do that?
So I've got the performance up.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
click
Go to
on.
your,
Oh, hang on. Is that it?
Yep. That looks good.
Oh man.
So
Oh, man.
so as you put your hand out and you're like, all right, check this out, and you kind of go, it just psst, and just sparkles and fizzles a little bit. She's like, that was kind of disappointing. Got anything else?
I'm not sure I'd like to try.
Well, if you can bring that bard friend back and he can regale me with a song, you know, maybe that might earn you a free gift.
Yeah, we might talk about that later. But thank you for your time.
Thank you for trying.
Just to let you guys know, I am the world's most uncharismatic man. I probably should have mentioned that before.
Good to know now.
All right, so eventually you make your way over to the main pudding tent. The rest of you have been there for an hour. And it's 11 when Glenwith shows up from his adventures over at the herbalist wagon. And you guys have seen as you've been here, you've been observing this activity that has been going on over at the pudding tent. It's this game. So basically inside this tent are many stout tables and benches which radiate around the grape pudding, and which is this giant fruit cake that's almost 10 feet in diameter. There are various meals that are served here, feasts throughout the day, with guests coming and going as they please. But the grape pudding for now remains completely untouched, and that is until sundown, when they bless it and sing a song and tell stories and slice it up using this sort of big, like, 2-man saw that you can see they're kind of sharpening and getting ready to use. So in addition to all of that, there's also this game that's going on that you've heard them refer to as Yondala's Luck. And so in this game, there's a person who volunteers to be the challenger, and they have to go and leap from table to table until they've crossed from one edge of the marquee to the grape pudding. and there are other people which hurl their food and cups and things at them in an attempt to distract them and knock them to the floor as they jump from table to table. Throughout the day, the fastest times are recorded up on a chalkboard. There are a few up there, and the winner at the end of the day is crowned the Pudding King, and given first bite into the great pudding. And entry into this game to be a challenger is 5 gold pieces. Helps fund the event. So
Is
as
there a
you've
time
been,
in which this event occurs?
oh, it's throughout. So just people like walk up and go put down their 5 gold, and like I got next, and then someone goes, and so you've been watching people doing this, and perhaps some of you are thinking about entering.
Who's our most dexterous person here?
Well,
Definitely not me, but I'm
good.
content to laugh about it. And throw.
I can throw my own in like the.
There we go.
I'll give the game a try.
Okay.
I'm also down for a good time myself too.
Okay.
Yeah, me
So,
too.
I think we put
I'd also like to
a
try.
wager of some meat on this too.
All right, your wager is on.
So I put my 5 gold in, right? It was 5, you said?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, put 5 gold in.
I'm trying to see where do I subtract 5 gold from my.
Well, don't worry about it now. You can just mark it down in like notes or something like that, and we can worry about it later. All right. So Adamar goes up first as he plops down his 5 gold. So the rest of you can get ready with your sort of improvised implements that you're going to toss at him as he goes. So Adamar hops up on the first table, and everyone can try to chuck things at him if you like. So if you do so, what I would like you to do is just go to your main tab, and so you don't have proficiency with this, so it's just a straight dex check. So if you double click on your dex ability score like I just did for that character, yeah, that will be your roll. So as Adamar tries to make a throw, Crozus is actually able to strike him with. So what do you throw, Crozus?
Just an empty.
Okay, so you strike him, and so right as you're about to jump, Adamar, and this throws you off, make your acrobatics check with disadvantage.
That's not good.
So actually, yeah, I mean, let's take the 6 there. Add your, yeah, so it's still just +3. Yeah, so first shot, Crozus gets you good and knocks you right at your first leap between tables, and you go down.
Haha, better luck next.
Good shot.
So who else said they were going to plop down their 5 gold?
I will.
Atrix did.
Okay, so same thing. Someone toss first. Okay, so Niltjar, you toss something at him, and miss completely, but Atrix does strike him. So you're just gonna roll normally as you make this first acrobatics check, as you had a miss and a hit.
Did I do that right? Yeah.
So is anybody supposed to be doing anything right now?
Well, Was sorry, I'm just getting confused in terms of who's talking. So who's the one going across on the tables?
It wasn't me. I was going to, but it looked like somebody. I mean, I
Oh,
guess I can.
Yeah,
So,
I was under
go
the
ahead.
impression it was you. Yeah, because you spoke up first. So
Alright,
I need you to make a acrobatics check.
All right, got it.
Yep. And again, Atrix's throw of whatever he throws at you knocks you off, and yeah, both pudding, and and it caught your foot and just completely took you off guard. You guys are better throwers than you are jumpers. So Atrix may go up next. So I need two people to make their throws. As Atrix attempts to make his first jump. And that looks like... oh boy. This is this is not your guys' day.
I need new dice.
Yeah. Atrix also just get everyone kind of gets together and says, "All right, everyone throw all at once." And as Atrix goes, he just gets pummeled with food and spoons, and I'm assuming you don't throw forks, so that could hurt a person. But spoons and bowls and wooden bowls, and he can't make it either.
I want to try.
Okay, so I'll need so let's do this a little bit. So who said I'm gonna try?
Nil.
Niltzer. Okay, so let's have Ulanin and Crozus each make your dexterity checks to throw as Niltzer makes this attempt. Okay, that looks like that's going to be a miss and a hit. So you just roll normally there, Niltzer, on your acrobatics check. What is this? You guys are really bad at this. Maybe it's that the tables are really small or something because they're for halflings and gnomes, so probably you jump and you actually make it, but you jump on the side of the table, and you're too heavy for it, and you aren't balanced on it, and it completely tips and topples you over, and just you completely fail at it.
I was going to say, this should be more of a step than a jump for some of us.
Yeah. These are like 5 or 6 bad coin flips in a row.
As this is going on, I'm kind of looking around for the halfling that we're searching for to see if I notice anything in the crowds.
Yeah, so at this point, as you after all of your checking out the fair and going around and playing this game and checking out the herbalist wagon, at this point it is about let's see, that's 6 hours, so it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon at this point, and between 3 and 4, and you don't see a sign of her, although the sun is sort of starting to get low. Maybe she'll show for the grand finale of the day.
What about those of us who are looking for our friend?
Yeah, I had a question around that.
Yeah.
Did we already accomplished sending the package to our friend, or
You did.
This is our. You did. Okay.
Yeah. So the day before, you delivered that, and did your visit that day. I mean, they must be here at the fair somewhere, but you're not sure where.
I'm gonna start walking around the fair and just see if I, can pick up any trails or notice anything for the halfling that we're searching for. And on my way of doing that, I'm gonna stop off at the archery contest. See what that's
Okay.
all
Sure. So you go to the archery contest. And you do that. So who was that? You do that.
Adamar.
Just not familiar with the voices yet. So you do that at about just before 4 o'clock.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna take kind of a wide swing around the festival and then end up there.
Okay.
Of course, letting everybody else know that's where I'm going.
Okay. Adamar goes to the archery tent. As you go there, you see that the archery contest is run by a gnome named Sazavir Gearclick, and it's a pretty popular tent. It's attracting a lot of attention. That probably has something to do with the fact that the grand prize is a beautifully carved cherry wood shortbow with a red stained leather quiver. The person who can score the most points. So you can see that there are 3 targets set up. A 1-point target, a 2-point target, and a 3-point target. Each harder, further away and smaller. So basically, the 3-point is the hardest to hit, and the 1-point is the least hardest to hit. And you then can enter, and kind of the same thing as the other one. The person who scores the highest at the end of the day, you get 5 shots, and the person who scores the highest at the end of the day can claim the prize.
Do I know what the high score is? Like, is it posted anywhere what the high score is already?
Yeah, so the highest possible you could score is 15 if you hit all 5 with the 3-point target. So far, I think that at this point in the day, we're looking at probably around like a 9 is the high score.
I am going to take a shot at it.
Okay, so you plop down your 5 gold point entry fee, and then you can take your bow and you fire at which target you would like to shoot at. You take the attack roll and drop it on the entry on the combat tracker, and that's how you attack that target.
I'm supposed to see the target somewhere.
Oh yeah, you have to bring up the combat tracker. So the 2 cross swords in the top right.
Got you.
Yep. So you fire at a 3-point target that's pretty far away, and you miss.
I get 5 shots.
Yep. And you aim again for the 3-point target and score a hit to score 3 points.
Oh man.
You fire again at the 3-point target and miss. And miss one more time, and so your highest possible score at this point would be a 6, which you score by hitting 2 3-point targets out of 5, going all 5 for the 3-point target.
That was no good.
Yeah, it was tougher than it looked.
Again, I'm keeping my eye open, looking for stuff now. Just kind of going around, bummed out that
Okay. And as you sort of finish your attempt there, you do notice that currently that 9 point top score was by a young halfling girl named Tribby Longbobbin, and she, after you go. Okay, sorry, I messed this up. So when you went, the high score belonged to the son of the person who was running this. So the gnome that is running the archery contest is Sazavar Gearclick, and his son has the high score of 9. And so after you go and only score 6, a young halfling girl named Tribby Longbobbin comes up, and she starts to do her thing. And she's able to actually score 9 points in four shots, and she has one shot left. And just as she is about to fire, so the targets are kind of moving too. She shoots, and one of the belts on the target that she's going for seems to snap, and the target stops moving, and her arrow whizzes by, and it would have struck the target had it kept moving, but she misses. And so she gets really angry at this, and she looks at Sazavar, and she starts saying, "Hey, that seems awfully coincidental. Seems like that happened on purpose. You just want your son to win." And Sazavar just kind of like shrugs and says, "Hey, I'm sorry. These things happen. I'll go out there and try to fix it." She gets pretty upset. She says, "Ah, now we have to do a tiebreaker." And so you see that as you finish your round. What's everybody else doing?
I'm gonna move to the yard sale and take a look in there to see if there's anything at the yard sale that could be identified.
Okay, so that's Atrix that goes to the yard sale at trying to do math and talking at the same time is never a good thing. So 6, nice, 2. So yeah, so Adamar actually went to the archery tent at 2, and then now we are 8 hours into the day. So now we are at 3 o'clock.
We're at 3. I thought I got to the archery area at 4.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I messed up my math trying to think and do math at the same time. You said the yard sale, right? Yeah, okay. So you go to the yard sale, Atrix, and you meet Gaffer Hogwaddle, who tends to an orchard here on the back of the village green. And he's a bit of a collector, and so every year he holds a yard sale at the fair to clear out all of the stuff he's accumulated. As you kind of go around, I mean, there's just random knickknacks and things like that. As you kind of stroll through, he's basically got like any kind of trinket you can think of from the player's handbook, and any of them are purchasable for 1 gold piece. You see that he's kind of crabby as you go and you peruse. He's like, ah, you gonna buy anything or what? I ain't got all day. And so you can look at things on that table there in terms of what he has.
I'll pick up the knucklebone.
Okay. So Atrix for 1 gold picks up some knucklebone dice. Ah, good. You picked that up. Glad to be rid of those. Can't even remember where I found it. And as you're making that transaction, he kind of stops for a moment and looks around you as you're towering over him. So he's got to look to the side to look past you. And he says, "Hey, you kids, get out of my orchard! Stop stealing my fruit!" And he goes and he takes a turnip and he starts throwing them at the kids, trying to scare them away. One of them sails over the head of the kids and smashes into a window and breaks a window in his neighbor's greenhouse.
I'll try to help him out, shooing the kids away.
Yeah, so you kind of go off and his noticing them and throwing turnips has scared them, and you a big imposing person has scared them off as they run away with like all these apples kind of clumped in there against their chest, and they drop a few as they run off. Damn kids. Now I'm gonna have to pay to fix that.
Is there any place to do gambling around here?
That is a good question. So, I don't maybe I mean, all of these things are sort of gambling of sorts. So, I mean, gambling / games of skill. I mean, there's the archery contest, like you saw. There's the pudding one. That don't have too big of monetary prizes. But at the wrestling ring, there is a as you go around looking for places like this, there is a prize pot of 50 gold pieces.
What I was
So
looking to do was something to use like deception to,
Yeah.
because I have that to gamble to try to make money.
yeah, know that there's
I was
much.
looking for like a card game or something like that where I can deceive.
I was actually looking at the same thing, and I was kind of thinking about Fool the Psychic,
Yeah.
14.
I do something. I set up a small little stand and I use my sleight of hand, deception, and perception to take money off people.
So yeah, at the fool the psychic tent, you're able to try to fool the psychic Petunia there. Basically, what you do is you pay a silver piece and let them ask you a question about yourself, such as how old you are, where you were born, and so on. Then you write down the answer on chalk on a little piece of slate, and then they have to guess what your answer is. Supposedly by reading your mind or something like that.
On my turn, that's what I want to do.
Okay. So
However, I want to prepare before I arrive.
Okay. How do you do that?
I kind of want to use disguise and look way older than I do.
Okay.
Disguise kit.
Oh, you have all the same tools I do.
So at then 4, Anin goes to the Fool the Psychic. Okay, so you prepare. You prepare by making yourself look older.
Yes.
And you go there, and as you do, you see that Tunia Peppergrass is doing a display, and she asks someone where they were born, and they write it down, and she sort of puts her hands up to her head, and she says, "You," and it's a halfling that's doing it. "You were born in Honeypuddle." And they go, "That's right." And he holds up the slate, and yay! They seem to not realize that it's pretty obvious if you're a halfling, then you're here. You were probably born here. They're just I'm amazed at this. And then Petunia's, "Oh, who's next? What? Who will risk their silver piece in the chance to win a gold back?"
I will.
"Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Step right up. Please give me your silver piece."
Okay. 1 silver piece for you, my lady.
Thank you. Thank you. So what do you look like? Instead of yourself. I was
I'm sorry.
I was just asking to like kind of just give like a brief description of what you've made yourself look like.
Yes, I wanted to give myself at least an additional. Well, in my race is probably I live up to like what 180, so give myself like 50 years of age.
Okay.
Or so. I don't know if I could actually disguise my race or not.
Okay.
But I guess I could attempt to do that.
I think with that you can. I think I thought it was any 2-legged humanoid type creature that you could disguise yourself as with that kit.
Yeah, you could do something to cover up your ears or whatever you like.
All right. Well, I tried to disguise myself as a halfling.
Oh.
An older halfling.
Okay.
Like I live nearby or something. like the way the like the local folks look like.
Okay, so you're actually using magic then for that. I mean, to make yourself appear shorter.
That's true. They are shorter. I forgot about that.
Disguise yourself as a human. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
I mean, I do have magic to totally disguise myself. Let me think about that. You know what? No, let's go for the magic. What is that?
I was gonna say if she's a true psychic, she might be able to see through the magic.
Possibly.
Okay, so yeah, so you're just making yourself appear older and making yourself appear as not a half elf, maybe just full human.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do that, and she says, "Okay." She's kind of looking at you and doing her little routine of waving her hands around and putting her hands on her head, and she says, "Okay, I'm feeling the vibrations inside your mind. Ooh, it's very busy there. Very busy in there. Yes.
Well, you know what they say about the idle mind.
Yes, indeed. So, I would like you to write down on your board how old you are.
Let's see, human years. So do I have to tell you that, or I just write it down somewhere?
You write it down. I mean, you can tell me, the DM, because I need to know whether I'm going to be able to guess right or not, because I can't actually guess.
I'll say 70.
Okay, so that's what you write down. And as you're writing that down, is that what you're thinking? Like, as you write down 70, do you try to think something else, to try to if she is psychic, to throw her off?
Good question. What else can I do? I guess, I mean, I also want to disguise my voice as well too.
Well, I mean, or for example, you could think, so you write down 70, but you could be thinking what your actual age is, which is 40. So you could try that, right? So you could be writing down 70, but you're like, haha, but my actual age is 40.
That's true. That's a good idea. I'll write down my actual age.
Okay, so you write down your actual age, but you're thinking that you're 70. Okay, got it. So make a deception check as you do this, and given all your tricks here, do it with advantage.
I just click the ADV button.
Yep.
And then I roll.
Yep. And then you roll your deception. Okay.
Was that right?
Yep, that was correct. So the person goes, "You are, despite." Yes. No. Yes, I'm getting sort of mixed messages here. You are younger than you appear. Oh, I'm so confused. No. You are exactly as you appear. You are 70. So you may reveal what you wrote on the chalkboard.
I'm sorry, I am 40.
And maybe you tear off your disguise to show that you
Yes.
fooled her as to why that's the case. Oh, well, that wasn't fair. That wasn't fair at all. Well, oh well. You get your gold piece anyway.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay,
so Atrix, you said you were watching out, watching all of this and watching for the bounty. You see a female halfling sort of watching this display from the psychic from a distance, and she's a distance away from you, and you think that could be her.
Okay, so I'll meander over that way, try to get a better look at her.
Okay. So as you sort of, pay attention to her and start watching her. So let's double check what that time is. It's just under 12, so 11 hours into the day. So that's now around 6 as we're getting close to the main event. Tricks, spots. See at Psychic Tent. Okay. So then you kind of start following her, and she doesn't notice you, but she starts walking towards the psychic, and she says, and you overhear her saying this to the psychic after she finishes with Ulanin. She says, "Don't I know you from somewhere?" And I don't. Yeah, I definitely recognize you. I think we've run into each other in Waterdeep, and when we ran in there, your name wasn't Petunia. And the psychic, I don't understand what you're talking about. She turns and runs and dashes off and runs into the woods. Yeah, I thought so. And Elsie starts making her way out of the psychic tent after scaring off the psychic.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to kind of like sneak up and see if I can peek inside the tent, see what she's up to.
Oh no, she went in and you overheard this, and she said this to the psychic, and the psychic ran off when she kind of started saying this, and then Elsie just was like, "Ha, yeah, I knew it," and then she kind of goes to leave the tent, just continuing to do her little tour of the fair. So you can just kind of keep tailing her.
Okay. And if I see any of the other members of our kind of wave them down, see if I.
Okay. So, yeah, what's everyone else doing? It is approaching the time, 8 o'clock. So it's now just about 2 hours, just over 2 hours away. It's now about to hit 6 o'clock, where the great feast on the pudding will take place.
I want to go to the herbalist.
Sorry, 2 people talked at once.
I want to go to the herbalist.
Okay.
No.
So you go to the herbalist.
And I think Alanin wants to start heading towards the great tent.
Okay. So when you go to the herbalist and approach the one who's selling herbalism kits and healing potions, what would you like to do?
Oh, I assume I talked to her, and the same deal about the trick is there.
Okay, so you kind of go up and say, "Oh, I've heard you have a free gift from my friend that might and I can win a free prize." She says, "Yes, of course. I'm always excited for a new trick. Please show me what you have."
I've got the sleight of hand skill. Is it possible for me to just do a trick with that, or?
Yep. So what just describe what you try and do. Do you like make a coin disappear or a card trick?
Yeah, make a coin disappear, sure.
Okay. So you do that, you kind of do like a sleight of hand and have it in one hand and then make it appear to go in the other and thing like that. So make your sleight of hand check. Okay, so as you do that, you pull it off pretty convincingly, and she goes, "Oh, wow, yes. Yeah, I love magic. Especially that sort that doesn't use any of that all the cheaty wizardy stuff. That takes real skill." And yes, you win a prize for today, and she gives you a potion of healing.
Nice prize.
Cool, thank you.
I'm gonna go to a place where there's a big crowd of drunken halflings and try to use sleight of hand to get 5 gold to go do the archery contest again to win the bow.
Okay. So now we are approaching 6:30-ish.
figuring that they're eating and drinking at this point.
6:30. Adamar steals some gold. Steps to re-enter. Archery Contest. All right, so you kind of go through the crowd and go through people's pockets. Go ahead and make your sleight of hand check as you go and do that, Adamar. Yeah, so actually roll one more time. As you said, you targeted, so you have advantage since you were targeting drunk halflings.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
well, the yeah, so I was just seeing if you were going to do better than that, but I think 13 is above average enough on drunk halflings to pull that off, and you're able to nick five gold so that you may go back and enter, make another entry into the archery contest.
Okay.
And by the time you make it over there, it is then about 7.
7 o'clock.
All right, so you make your first shot at the 2-point target, scoring a hit there. And your second shot at the two-point target, total of 4.
I was trying to do more than one die roll at the time. I guess it doesn't let you do that. Huh?
No. And your third shot hits the 2-point target as you get your total up to 6. The top score is still 9. And you bullseye dead on the 2-point target one more time, as you are now at 8. And on the final one, you score the hit and get to 10 and boost it up into the new high score. And the guy running it says, "Oh, we have a new leader for the day. What is your name, sir?" As he goes to write it down.
Adamar. Then I
Very
go
good.
over and
Yeah.
I start talking to him a little bit, and I ask him if he knows any halflings by the name of Rumknuckle. If he's ever heard of anybody by that name.
Rumknuckle? Well, I mean, I don't. So he's a gnome.
Oh,
Yeah. So he's. I mean, I don't know all the halfling families too well. I don't think I've. No, I don't think I've ever heard that name. So as we are getting later in the day, night does yeah. So Atrix is asking me, observing Elsie Rumknuckle, sort of what he observes as he's been following her and watching her, and so basically. Yeah, she's pretty gruff. I mean, she's definitely a rogue. You sort of get the impression that she's sort of looks out for herself, as maybe she bumps into someone and sort of pushes them out of the way and says, "Watch where you're going." She's not necessarily particularly pleasant. As we approach. Yeah, so we're getting very close to the 8 o'clock hour, where the pudding feast is about to start, and she actually makes her way to the pudding tent to attend.
I am also going to make my way over and since it looks like I'm fairly close, hopefully getting there before the bigger crowd and finding a good vantage point to be able to view everybody that's in the tent.
Okay.
As they come in and move around.
Then I'm gonna if I see anybody, try to attract their attention. I'll head towards the tent.
Okay.
One is also heading towards the tent.
All right. So as you guys head towards the tent, yeah, I mean, a lot of people are gathering here. Atrix has been tailing Elsie, and the crowd starts to grow.
Did I just
And
lose? Okay.
Hmm?
Oh, I didn't know if I just lost sound.
no, I was just making a transition there. And so you can see that the guys with that big two-handled saw, you know, are kind of going through and sawing through it and cutting out pieces and starting to dish it out. And they bring the first you see that the first the person who wins the who had won the Yondala's luck throughout the day was this gnome character. And they so as they are cutting off pieces and getting ready, they say, okay, so they go and check the board. The winner for today was gnome cousin by the name of Patcher Moldwarp. He tells us he's come to Honeypuddle from the wild hills beyond Three Penny Wood. He has scored the fastest time in Yondala's luck, and therefore he gets first taste of the pudding. You can tell that he looks pretty drunk because he's thanks, you know, and he's enjoyed the day quite thoroughly. And they give him his the first taste of the pudding, and he has a big smile on his face, and he sort of just takes it and just smashes it into his face and just buries his face in and just starts just eating it like that, and kind of gets it all over his face, and everyone cheers, and then they start handing out all of the puddings.
Do I notice anybody in the crowd that looks suspicious or looking for the halfling robe that we're looking for?
Well, I mean, once you come back, you could probably meet back up with Atrix, and he could clue you in that he's been tailing her. And point her out to you.
Okay, and I'm assuming I'm in the tent at this point in time too, right?
Yep.
And they're not there. I don't see them.
You don't see who?
I don't see any of our group.
I think it's my impression that they've all regathered there. I think so. They're all there, unless someone says otherwise.
I guess I ask the question to the group if anybody has seen anything or noticed anything out of the ordinary.
I think I found her. I've been kind of tailing Elsie ever since I've been over at the fortune place.
And she's currently here.
Yes, I point around.
So do we know where where is she currently at, I guess, compared to where we're at?
She's at a table, sort of just sitting by herself, and she gets served some pudding, and she starts eating it.
Are we all just sitting around, just casually talking about this?
If you wish, yeah.
Okay.
I think
I'll let them know that I overheard chase out or run out the psychic.
do we know why she chased off the psychic?
She apparently recognized him.
The psychic recognized her, or she recognized the psychic?
She recognized the psychic. And she chased him out. Spooked him.
Why would the psychic run off?
Would you like me to ask her about it? I thought it was kind of weird.
Yeah, I think one of us should go over and kind of sit down and try to deceive this person and see what they know.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Do you guys want to do that? You want me to do it? I'll be willing to be your go-between if you want me to get information for you.
Yeah, why don't you go up and
Okay.
Okay, so you go over and approach Elsie sitting by herself, eating her pudding.
Yeah, so I'll just, in merriment and festivities, I'll just kind of approach and introduce myself and say, hi, my name is Lanan. We passed each other at the psychic tent. Is everything okay?
Says, pudding's okay. It's a little dry. Other than that, it's fine. It's been an okay day since I took a long nap, woke up, came to this podunk town and had some dry pudding, and now I'm talking to your ugly face. How about you?
I'm doing quite well. I actually pulled the psychic.
Sorry, I think two people are
know
trying
her
to
by
talk there.
No, I said I'm doing pretty well. I actually was able to fool the psychic. Do you know who that person is?
Oh, that's psychic? Well, I mean, yeah, they're actually psychic, but they ain't no gnome or halfling. They're an old doppelganger trickster I know from Waterdeep. That was why as soon as I spotted them, they ran off into the woods.
Oh wow! So you met her before?
Oh yeah, I saw that they were having trouble holding their form together while trying to work on their psychic abilities. Yeah, that was a pretty good trick you pulled on them.
Thank you. I figure that with it being fair and all, there's unfair advantages. I thought I'd level the playing field with that. And by the way, my name is Ulanan. What's yours?
Last name's Rumknuckle.
Pleasure to meet you, Rumknuckle. Are you from around these parts?
I am not.
Are you
I'm just
visiting?
I'm just passing through. Yeah.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, you as well.
I go back to the table and confirm that she's rum knuckle to my party.
So, what's the plan on trying to take her down?
Well, you guys have the bounty on her. I don't.
Well, we could always go the direct approach. All of us walk up in a group, mention the bounty, and then escort.
I think we need to get her to not make such a big fuss, get her outside of the tent somehow. Figure out.
That's not a bad idea.
How we gonna explain to all the halflings and gnomes here that we're taking her in for something I'm not even 100% sure why we're taking her in.
I mean, she's just a criminal. You know, she's stolen some things, committed some crimes, and there's a bounty on her.
Well, it says she's not from around there, so.
As you guys are discussing this, that gnome that got the first of the pudding, you can see that he's become quite belligerent, and you can see the mayor of the town. You can tell because he's got his big mayor sash on. Kind of comes over, and you can see that they're having some sort of argument, and as this happens, the gnome sort of gets mad, and he kind of flicks his hand, and the mayor goes from being a halfling and gets shrinks down until he transforms into a frog, as people start screaming, and then the gnome sort of like kind of gives everyone the middle finger and like stumbles off out of the tent and out into the darkness. This happens around 10:30 p.m.
That's not good.
And all the while, what was Elsie doing?
As you watch this, you look back to where she was, and she's not there anymore. She's not at the table.
She's not at the table.
Yeah, she's finished her pudding and gotten up and gone somewhere.
Can I use perception to see, have a clue of where she went?
Yeah, you could see how distracted or not you were. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Yeah, I'm gonna make one too.
Okay, so no need for further. Adamar, you were keeping your eye on her, and yeah, you ignore the fact that the mayor's wife sees what has happened, and she screams and runs over and picks up her now croaking husband in her hands. Is there anything anyone can do?
I'm gonna alert the rest of the group and let them know that she's getting up and moving out.
Okay. Yeah, so she
start heading in the direction that she was leaving, or wherever she was going.
So, how many exits are out in?
Just the main one. That's where she's headed out of.
I think we need to stop her and have a talk with her, see what's going on there.
That works for me.
Just kind of tie her hands, set her down, talk to her. So I'm going to try to follow her. Do we want to try to surround her, or what's the game plan of getting her?
Oh, let's try to follow her to a more secluded area. See if she gets secluded.
I agree with that. So we follow her till we get to a point where there's less commotion, less of a crowd.
Okay, so you kind of follow her out of the tent as she starts walking down the sort of main thoroughfare there, out, headed towards out the entrance there, out the under the Pudding Faire banner. I will need anyone who is following her to each make a stealth check.
Ooh.
So yeah, Crozis's jingle jangle of all the, his armor and all the stuff she's carrying. He's carrying.
A nice, sneaky, heavily armored door.
Yeah, she stops, about 20 feet in front of you, or however far, how much a distance you were given her, and she turns around and she says, "Why do I get the feeling you all are following me?" Do we have a problem here?
I use deception and just kind of lie and say, no, no problem. We're just leaving.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, you won't mind if I go this way, then, will you? And she starts to change direction, going this way.
I'm going to cut through the living stock pen as silent as possible to not disturb the animals, kind of around it, where I can kind of see her, because I'm assuming it's dark out at this point.
Yeah, it is.
So with my infrared or infravision, I'm just going to kind of stay as far away that I can and kind of try to circle around her, moving.
Okay, make a stealth check and an animal handling check.
And a what? Sorry.
And an animal handling check. Stealth to see how quiet you are. Animal handling to see how you handle the animals to keep them quiet.
Uh-oh.
So you're pretty quiet, but as you move through, the animals kind of all the goats or sheep or whatever, kind of, you bother them, and she sort of looks over and sees you, and she kind of starts to pick up her pace, and as she really feels like she's being followed, and tries to keep ahead of you.
As she's doing that, I have Mask of the Wild, so does that help me hide, or does that not count when I'm moving?
Well, yeah. I mean, it just allows stealth checks in under conditions that others wouldn't have. But you've already kind of been spotted. I mean, so
Okay.
you've done your checks, and it just didn't work out. But as you're doing this, everything goes black for all of you.
That's not good.
Who turned down that light?
And you wake up in a bed.
Do we have any idea where we're at or what time it is?
Seems like it's morning, given the light and sounds. You find yourself again in your room at the inn you were staying at, the Squirrel and Nightjar, and you hear outside, roll up for the Pudding Faire." You peer out the window and see a crowd of happy halflings and gnomes bustling toward a fairground on the village green. It appears to be about 7 o'clock in the morning. And it seems like the Honeypuddle Fair seems to have been extended a day. You can't quite remember how you got here or what happened last night.
Do we know, is this fair typically in the past, a single day? Do we know anything else about it?
It's typically a single day. Yeah, I mean it's one day, and climaxes at the eating of the pudding, which you all attended.
Right. And we remember what everything from the day before, you said?
Yeah, yeah. It was a little like it was yesterday. Yeah.
Does it appear that all my gear is in the same exact location and stuff as yesterday?
So yeah, anything that you may have collected on the previous day is not there. As you kind of look for that, you check your gold, and all the gold that you spent or gained is reset to whatever it was originally.
Are we? I kind of get with the group. I guess is it for breakfast or and ask if anybody knows what's going on. Like, ask them what day it is. Like, I go down to the innkeeper and say, I thought this fair was only a single day.
It is. And it's today. It's the day of the Pudding Faire. Tonight we're going to have a great feast on pudding. And the winner of Yandala's Luck gets to have the first taste. I bet you'd like to try your hand at it.
I did yesterday.
What do you mean you did yesterday? You mean you practiced yesterday?
No, I was there. I was jumping from table to table and got knocked off by my own friends.
I mean, if you say so, buddy. He kind of looks away like crazy.
I don't think we're gonna get anywhere with that. Interesting. There was something that happened that was kind of odd yesterday, which kind of involved magic. Wonder if it's kind of related.
As you are discussing this, you hear right outside the door some children startle and chase a goose, and you hear it honk, honk, the honking of the goose, and it runs and knocks over this gnome as she's coming by with a tray of cakes, and she falls, and the cakes fall and hit the ground.
Can I use my athletics to try to catch the cake before it hits the ground?
Oh, it already happened. Because you didn't anticipate it. As you were trying to figure out what the heck's going on here, that happened.
At I'm sorry. At that point in time, I'm going outside because I have a feeling I know what's going to happen next, and I'm going to be looking for
The barking dog.
No, the bird.
Oh yeah, the bird food. Sorry.
Bird poop. And the guy selling the candy apples.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get the guy that the bird pooped on and kind of get him to walk over towards us instead of the direction that he's going in.
Okay, so you walk out and try to spot the guy who got pooped on. Make a perception check. All right, yeah, and you spot him, and you feel like he's approaching the point at which he got pooped on, or at least when you remember that.
I yell, "Hey, buddy! I have a question. Can you come over? I need some help."
Oh yeah, and he comes over, and right as he does that, this poop comes down and drops right in front of him. He's like, "Oh, whoa! That almost got me." And he walks over to you. What was your question?
Just wondering what time this thing all starts.
Oh, it's ready now. Can't you hear the crier? And you hear him, roll up for the Pudding Faire. He says, here, look, have my guide. And he hands you the guide to the Pudding Faire. I'll get another one.
Thank you, sir.
And I'll keep my eye out for the barking dog chasing the rat.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So then you hear that gnome again. Candied apples, candied apples. By the way, did you guys ever end up eating your apples on the previous day? I don't think we ever mentioned that.
I didn't
Yeah,
buy
it-
one.
Okay, yeah. So if you ate it, you find that they were actually not ripe. They were actually old and soured and quite rotten and pretty gross.
I'm gonna confront the guy with the apples and say, "Hey, yesterday you sold me an apple. You know, it was disgusting."
Yesterday, I've never seen you before in my life, buddy. Stop bothering me. Candied apples here, nice and ripe and fresh.
Yeah, if they're so ripe, how about you try?
What a rip!
I don't know what you're talking about. These are nice and ripe. I'm not going to eat my own merchandise. I'm trying to make a living here, buddy. Leave me alone.
I'm gonna write a note saying bad apples, and then stick
Well, I
it
think
on
we'll
the back.
It's right here. Actually, I do want one. I'll just cut it open. See, there you.
Look, what are you trying to do here, buddy? Knock it off. Leave me alone. This is my biggest day of the year. And so everyone kind of sees this and they start laughing at him and, booing him, and people go and start taking his apples and they start throwing them at him. As they're all rotted, they all come apart. He's like, no. You guys,
Serves you right.
you guys out him
Now he's not gonna be able to feed his kids.
as he's covered in apples. And you, okay, so whoever said they were looking out for that dog, roll a perception check.
I'm sorry, where is it on the sheet?
On your skills tab.
Got it.
Okay, so yeah, you go and try to spot that dog, but you are unable to find it in time as you see it goes and starts chasing that rat again through the crowd, and it knocks over the town crier, and he trips and falls face first in the mud. Ah, man, the day just started.
No. Right now, I don't know what to do. I think I'll just kind of sit back and watch.
I'm gonna. Who saw the halfling at the what was
Atrix
it?
did.
Atrix, what time did you see the halfling yesterday?
It was a little
It wasn't till 4.
clock.
So do you guys want to make a plan that around 4 o'clock we go over to that tent and try to capture her at that point in time?
Yeah, I think it would be a good time because she's going to chase up. She
Gotta go into a
psychic.
tent, right? So we can
Yeah, she
surround
goes-
the tent and get her as she comes out.
yes.
And I have a question for those who actually saw the. Was it who's being turned into a frog last night?
The mayor.
And can you describe how or why? I forgot.
Oh, the pudding. The guy that won the contest got drunk, right, and got in an argument with the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yep.
And then he turned him into a frog and left.
Hmm.
I don't know if it was too drunk or the pudding got something in it.
Well,
But we all ate pudding.
typically a pudding like that has alcohol in it, right?
I think he was drunk before he ate the pudding.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's true.
So as you guys are hanging around in front of the inn longer than you did the day before, you notice coming riding past through the road in the midst of the crowd as everyone starts cheering and yelling, "Nanny Cowslip! Nanny Cowslip! Nanny Cowslip's coming!" And you see this sight of this halfling riding a chariot being pulled by 3 what appear to be somehow magically enlarged kittens. And you look, and they each have big bright collars on that say their names. It says Snap, Crackle, and Pop. And you can they're all done up and all cute, and as these kittens are pulling this halfling woman, this very elderly old halfling woman on this chariot, and everyone's very excited to see her. You see that she holds up this jar of glowing jelly beans labeled magic candy. She says, "Oh yes, I've brought them again this year, and the sherbet lemons and the honeycomb toffees and the peppermint bonbons. Just find my booth, Nanny Cowslip's Magic Candies." And she kind of comes riding past you.
Is she? Are we able to have her attention at all?
No, I mean she's like on her way to her booth. She's kind of passing through. There's lots of crowds. You're just in amongst it. This you just see this go by.
And the giant cats, are they kind of like moving, or they're just kind of like?
Yeah, they are like horses, attached to the chariot, and they are pulling her.
Got it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should check her out.
Can I use perception to see if they're real cats and the cherry, like the candy's really glowing and stuff, or is it an illusion?
You could go over and try to examine the cats.
Are they in motion or they stop?
They're in motion.
I kind of go up and walk beside them and just check them out and see if I notice anything peculiar other than that they're enormous cats the size of horses.
So you touch them and they're real. I mean, they're not an illusion. Like if it were an illusion, in that how big they were, your hand would pass through the parts that are not real. But no, I mean they're solid and hard. I mean it must be, I mean there is magic that can enlarge things. Somehow someone must have put an enlarge spell on these kittens.
And to actually be able to control a cat is a whole other thing too. Like charm pity or something spell on that too.
Yeah, some sort of animal charm maybe. Yeah.
Well, I think we should decide, because
She
looks
might
like
be,
we have 2 missions.
she might be a good one to ask about the fact that it seems like we're reliving yesterday. Maybe she would have some knowledge of what's going on.
That's a good one. And it seems like today we're on 2 missions. Like we're here to capture somebody and do something about the frog mayor.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
I think there's something definitely fishy with the frog mayor and the fact that there was a spell cast and then the guy just left, but at the same time he was angry.
Maybe we should talk to the gnome and see if we can get him before he gets wasted.
Yeah, we could do that.
All right, let's candy first.
The candy store is right at the very beginning of the fair here,
Yep.
so I think, yeah, let's stop there according to this map that we just got.
I'm game for it if everybody else is.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's go there.
All right.
Okay, so you you kind of follow behind Nanny Cowslip's chariot, pulled by kittens, and as you do that, you see her roll up, and she kind of unharnesses the kittens and starts pulling out her wares. She sets down her big jar of glowing jelly beans labeled magic candy and sets it down on a counter alongside her trays of sherbet lemons, honeycomb toffees, and peppermint bonbons, which are already laid out for her. And she flips open her open sign, and she says, "Okay, we're open for business today. Come one, come all. Get your sweets and your magic candies."
What's so magical about the candies?
Oh, well, you'll have to try one and find out.
How much do they cost?
Ah, they are practically free. All it costs is a good deed. Have you performed any good deeds today?
A couple of us have.
Oh, what did you do? She asks whoever performed a good deed.
I saved half of getting pooped on.
He was what now?
He was going to get pooped on by a bird. I saved him. I pulled him away.
How did you know he was going to get pooped on?
Well, that's a crazy story that is going to take a little long to tell. But if you're game, we're up for it. And we have some questions.
I'm listening.
Well, it seems to be that we're living the same day over again. I guess it wasn't that long of a story.
That was pretty short.
You're living the same day over, son. I don't understand.
Have you ever seen the movie Groundhog's Day?
They don't have during this time.
What's the movie?
Can't say that I have.
Have you read the book, Grandma?
I don't think well, never mind. Should we talk about?
It's a strange thing. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but it seems that this morning I woke up and everything that happened yesterday is happening again. I'm not quite sure how to describe it. I was hoping that maybe you would have more insight into this.
Well, I'd like to say I believe you all. You seem nice enough, but I don't have any memory of this. I remember yesterday very distinctly. I was baking all of these goods here that you see for this fair. Yesterday was quite different than today. I don't seem to understand.
Where were you?
We can prove it. We know who's gonna win the pudding today.
You do?
Yes.
Oh, I suppose that would be some interesting evidence. Who then is going to win?
Explain about the gnome. I'm sorry. It was the drunken gnome, right?
Drunken Gnome, you say?
I'm talking to my party. Sorry.
Yeah, it was the drunken
Hold on.
gnome that turned the mayor into a frog. There was a drunken gnome. I don't remember his name. I wasn't paying that close attention, but there was a gnome that got drunk or seemed to get drunk when he started eating the pudding, or was drunk already, and then got in an argument with the mayor and turned him into a frog. I don't know. Is this what we want to tell her?
No, we don't.
You know, how far do we want to go with that part of the story?
Yeah, if we don't have specifics, then it's not worth talking about then.
Yeah, no one remembers the name, right?
No.
No, I don't. All right. I will come back and say I take that back.
Oh, so it was all just a good joke then. Oh, that's
Yes.
funny.
I go up to her and ask her how she got such big cats.
Oh, when you reach my age, you learn a thing or two, and she takes one of her, and she kind of let me show you, and she sort of takes her hand and does a little wave of it as a little bit of magic sprinkles come off of it, and one of her sweets, the one of the sherbet lemon, sort of starts to grow and get about double the size of what it was before.
I take it and run.
Like a football.
Okay, yeah, like I said, that one's on the house for your one good deed.
Oh no, I come back just as a joke. Yeah. So I talked to our group. What I definitely think she knows what possibly could be going on. Maybe we have to live out today and take better notes of what happens through the day so she understands or trusts what we're telling her.
But even if so, can she produce any positive outcome? I don't think she can.
You
I
know,
think we should move on.
I think we should probably question other people in this town and see if other people remember something different from yesterday.
We could do that in a sly way, though. Maybe a joking way or something. So don't want people to believe we're too weirder or anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can do it just by asking what their day was like yesterday. And if they start talking about the fair or saying something like, man, I don't understand why the fair, then we can question that person more, I guess. Right?
Okay. So should we kind of split up a group and like some folks go for the bounty and other folks go for saving the mayor?
Well, I say we just question, rummage through the town here, and then around 3 o'clock, let's meet up at where the psychic is.
Yeah. And if you guys split the bounty with me, I will help you.
I don't
Yeah,
have
we're
a problem
supposed to be
splitting
getting-
down.
Yeah, I don't even know what we're getting for this bounty. Did it say?
Well, if we split it all evenly, then I will be game.
The yeah, it's unknown, but you figure it's probably got to be a pretty good bounty on her head.
I was going to use my deception since I don't trust anybody, but okay.
So how about we break up into two, meander through, find out what we can learn about the town, and then meet at the psychic at 3, and then trade notes.
Sounds good to me.
So go ahead.
I was going to say, my thought was I'm going to head back to the archery where I was talking to the guy that was running it to see if his story kind of stacks up or if anything changes, since I know that story a little bit with his son winning the contest or doing well in the contest and the argument.
Okay, so the first time, so basically how your day went yesterday was at 10 a.m. Glenwith went to the herbalist. Then at 11, Glenwith met you guys at the pudding tent. So up till 11, you guys were all in the pudding tent. For the next few hours, you participated in Yondala's luck until finally at 2, you made your way over to the archery tent.
And at what time is it now approximately that we're leaving the candy shop?
It's before that. I mean, we're not going through. We can't go through every day in real time. So you can kind of just say, well, I want to wait until 2 to go to that same point at the archery tent.
That's what I want to do. Is anybody with me on that one? Kind of give my story of what I'm doing.
Can we look for this gnome that won the contest last time?
Yeah, you can go around the fair looking for him. Yeah.
Well, if he was drunk, let's go looking for him at a bar. So, who was that said they want to go look for the gnome?
Maybe at the cider stand.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go to the cider stand.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I second that.
Okay, so we make our way over to the cider stand.
So hold on. Do we is it possible to know if we saw the gnome while we were in the Great Pudding Tent the first time? While people were chucking things.
You did. I mean, you didn't notice him.
Exactly.
Yes, he won the contest, so I'm gonna go to the pudding tent to see if he's there now, trying to do the contest, and if he's there, gonna try to throw and knock him off the table.
That's right. He would be there because he won the contest. So we just don't know when he was there.
Right.
Yeah. So some of you want to go. Some of you want to go to the cider stand. Some of you want to go to the pudding tent to see if you can spot him there.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Check
do
for
that.
the cider stand.
Yeah, I'm going to cider as well too.
Okay, so this is at about 11 o'clock that you do this. So this is pretty much about the same time yesterday that Glenwith went to met you guys at the pudding tent. So you all are arriving maybe like an hour later, because he went there second after going to the herbalist's tent. So but yeah, so you kind of see the very similar sight of what you saw the day before of people doing Jan Dalla's luck, and like before when you were there before, you look up on the board and it's not that gnome who is the current leader. So it seems he has not posted his time yet. So at 11 a.m. as the rest of you head over to the cider stand, you see that this place is quite popular and doing quite a bit of good business as they're selling apple cider and berries from local presses. You see that lots of patrons are sitting on wooden tables sheltered by wide, colorful awnings embroidered with smiling faces. You see a flagon cost 2 copper pieces, and guests can always get a bit of a wee dram, as they call it, just a taste to gauge the quality before buying. You can see you observe as you're kind of looking out for this gnome, one halfling who you see him as there's a area to dance off to the side of the cider stand, as well as people are drinking and at their tables, and they go off and they have a dance, and this one halfling comes over to someone, and you see him say, "Oh, may I have this dance?" and this happens right in front of you, and she says, "No, I don't believe I would like to with you," and you kind of see him get kind of upset and stumble off.
Wow.
And as you're looking around, you think you do spot that gnome as he's at a table, and he's got like 10 ciders in from him, and he's down in 1 currently.
Does he look pretty sober, or Is he drunk already?
He looks like he may have just started. Yeah, those are. He looks like he's got maybe one empty, and then he's on his second. And he's got like 7 more lined up after that.
Gnome on a mission. How we gonna stop him from drinking?
I can use predigitation, make his drinks taste sour. They taste worse.
That's actually a good idea.
So I'll go ahead and try to make his drinks taste worse. But
Should we interact with him first? Oh no, I don't know whether we should or not.
Yeah, so you see him finish his second, and he moves on to his third.
All right, cast that spell, man.
I'm going to cast a spell on his drinks that make them taste worse.
Okay. So you do that, and as he's doing that, he starts going, and he spits it out and throws the cup down. And he said, "Ah, bottom of that one was spoiled." And he goes to his next one and starts to drink. That one's spoiled too. I'm assuming you kind of did it to all of them.
Yeah. As he's drinking.
Yeah. Oh, and he kind of gets up and he goes over to the stand. And he pushes his way through the line. And he says, "Hey, your cider is spoiled. I want my money back." And they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. We can pour you some more." "Yeah, that's right. But who's to say that stuff isn't soured either?" And they're like, here, have a wee dram of this. This is nice and fresh. We just made it just the other day." And he's like, "Okay." And he tastes it. "Okay, yeah. Give me 10 more of those." And they go about, start pouring him 10 more.
Holy cow!
Dedicated.
I don't think you have that many spells.
Well, it's a cantrip.
We catch
So,
up with him.
It's a cantrip, so I can keep making it
yeah.
taste
Yeah.
bad.
Do it on its tongue instead of the cups.
Yeah, make his own tongue taste bad. No, you don't want to do that.
No.
So they load up 10 more of his drinks on a tray, and he gets it and he brings it over. He's like, "Ha ha ha," and he sets
I'm
it
gonna
down.
make those drinks taste bad too.
Okay, and he goes and drinks it, and this is bad. What the? And he kind of takes it and takes his hand across and knocks it across the table, and everything goes dumping over as he makes this big scene. And he says, "Nope, that's it. I want my money back. I want my money back right now." And he starts sort of like stamping his feet and yelling, and "Right now, I want my money." And they're just like, all right, fine. Here, just go. And they give him his money, and he saunters off.
Okay, I want to approach him and say, "Hey, what's going on?"
The cider's all spoiled and rotten. Trying to pull a fast one. Can't say that I blame him. I'd probably do the same thing if I could. Get away with it. I can't believe all these people are drinking all this terrible stuff.
Yeah, earlier someone tried to sell us rotten apples.
Yeah, well, a lot of hucksters around. Gotta be careful. Don't know who to trust.
Is this where else can you find something to drink if it's not here? Would you know by chance?
And he says, well, if you think that cider's bad, and he kind of opens his jacket, he's like, "I kind of got my own personal stash too."
Do it. Make it taste bad, someone.
Well, if I knew where his personal stash was,
Well, you just showed us, right?
Yeah, it's in his jacket.
It's in his jacket.
oh, I'll make it taste bad.
Make a sleight. Well, let's see. What do you need to do to cast prestidigitation? As now you're kind of doing it near him.
The verbal and semantic.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to kind of do this stealthily. So make a some sort of check, stealth check, sleight of hand check, something, a deception, something that would denote how you're doing this sneakily.
Okay, sleight of hand check.
Okay.
Can I draw his attention while he's doing that?
Yeah, you could have to give him advantage, but that 17 is going to be good enough, as he doesn't notice you do this, and so he doesn't take a swig of it now, but he says, "Ha, yeah, here's my private stash," and he goes, "You want some?" After he's cast that spell.
No, I don't. I think you're going to need it more than I do.
No, I'm
Okay.
gonna need all my balance. We're gonna need all our balance to win the what was it? The contest today.
Yeah, the contest.
Oh, Yandala's luck? Yeah, I'm headed there now. I'm gonna win that pudding. Yep, have me some fine pudding.
Awesome. Why don't we all go there?
Okay, yeah,
How
let's go.
sure are you of winning this pudding?
Oh, it's a lock. I got the fastest feet in these hills and lands. You'll see.
Well, I bet you some round of drinks if you beat my partner here.
Okay, if you can find yourself some non-spoiled cider and want to give away your hard-earned money to me, no problem.
I kind of whisper, "What are we doing? What is the point?"
I wish back to him. You know, maybe if we can keep him sober, he won't be messing with the mirror.
But you just bet him to me more to drink.
Well, that's after the contest is over.
Right, but then that's when he gets drunk and turns the mayor into a frog.
We need to knock him off the table so he doesn't win.
That's why I
Yeah.
voted that we all go up there with him. Or I voted that I would go up there at least.
Yeah.
Are we all in agreement, or?
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. Let's take him down. Maybe somebody has a spell for something that will help, that will mess him up.
How close can we get to the tables that the people are actually jumping on around the pudding?
There's like a designated, sort of line that you stand behind to hurl things at the people leaping between tables.
Is it close enough for spellcasting?
Probably for most spells. I mean, most spells usually have like 10, 30-foot range, so yeah.
Anybody?
Okay. I think I know what we're gonna do. It's we're actually walking with the gnome and kind of trailing behind them as we're talking, right?
Mhm.
Right.
I can probably put him to sleep during his turn.
That might be an idea.
All right, let that be the plan, I guess.
Okay, so the rest of you that were hanging out at the tent, you see the rest of the party members come strolling in after you were looking for the gnome, and it appears that they have found him. And he goes up and he pulls out 5 gold and he says, "So you want to go first or me? Which of you is gonna lose to me again?"
I would I mean I wouldn't mind trying again.
What do you mean again?
We tried it yesterday. That's what I
Sorry,
mean.
that was my DM thinking, because you guys
Oh.
lost yesterday. He didn't mean to say that. I said that.
Okay.
Yeah. So which of you is gonna lose to me, huh?
I will take your challenge. You're gonna lose to me, buddy.
Okay, well, slap down your 5 gold. You want to go first, or you want me to go first? I will warn you, if I go first, you're going to get discouraged and quit.
Gonna get what?
Discouraged and quit, because there's no way you're beating my time, so you should probably go first.
Then show me what you got.
Okay, so you plunk down your 5 gold to go first.
He will go first.
Oh, you want me to go first? Okay, very well then.
See what you got.
Slaps down his 5 gold.
What,
Hey,
what's something, is there anything in here that's kind of like butter?
I
That
can,
we can
I
throw.
can,
Slippery.
I can
Yeah.
cast grease on the table.
Well, I was thinking not to be, I mean, you could do that, but I was just gonna target it and throw the butter on the table in front of him instead of trying to hit the guy.
Okay.
Just, but, I mean, the grease or whatever you do would work too.
Now, if we do grease, then I will probably have to go first because then when I go, that may mess up my turn.
But he'll
well,
never-
well, I think he can if he puts grease, he can then isn't it concentration? So then he can stop concentrating on it and make it go away, right?
is that how it works?
No. Okay, so it's not concentration, but it lasts for only 1
Oh.
minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's fine then. All right, Gnome up first.
And it says I need to grab some butter, so I'll grab some butter. Either.
Okay, so he goes ahead and goes. One of you cast
Oh, chop step.
grease onto the tables.
Can I use Mage Hand to push?
Yeah. So again, so just 2 of you now. So first, let's go. So Ulanin will go in order here. Ulanin and Crozus, make your decks to throw your stuff. Crozus, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and make your dex check as you try to